Welcome back to the second half of Faded World's Suit Zero Firebrands. So, we were about to choose a new game.
Indeed.
I believe it is my choice.
Yeah.
Um, I think it is time for me to meet sword to sword with our illustrious Verdian 5. I think after my capture and subsequent release from by Aramis, I keep saying your name wrong. It's dumb. Anyway, she returns to the revolutionaries, and they make a new plan of attack. But they are still they were hit really hard, so she's out alone scouting in her mobile frame when she comes across Viridian in his mobile frame, who is either also scouting the area or just patrolling, I think.
We do a lot of that. Patrolling.
Yeah. Let's see. What do you notice about each other? What have you heard? Yeah. You notice that the frame is a little bit beat up. It's got some fresh patches on it. And you've heard that the rebels have been recently routed after an attempted robbery. Or was even that kept on the down low?
Yeah, I think just like nothing came out. I think it's just like it was an incident at this factory, and we had to repair one of the walls.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Who is better with the sword? We haven't actually seen. Well, we seen her earlier when she ripped during the tactical skirmish, when she ripped the other mech in half with her chainsaw arm swords. I think she is a brutal fighter, but not. She doesn't have a trained fighting style. So I think that would make Verdian 5 technically better.
Okay. Yeah, and while Verdian might not be trained with like a with a sword physically, but in a mech that's since shortly after they first woke up, they've had hours a day in virtual training. So I should ask a question, a leading question. And I think that I wouldn't launch right into fighting. I think that I circle cautiously with sword tips touching, and I think with that there's like this it's beam sabers, so it's like all sparks and
I have chainsaws.
Oh, okay. So it's
you may
beam
have a
saber
saber
against the chainsaw.
Yeah.
So it's all sparks, and it's not like the stable thing of one thing pushing against each other, but like this magnetic field that sometimes pushes, sometimes gives away. It's
very tenuous.
Yeah. What do you say?
I say, I should have known you'd be here. I should have known that you would be invading our woods, that you would claim right to patrol here. Of course. At which point, um, I thrust and you barely turn it. A fraction closer and you would have been cut through. Does this exhilarate or chill you?
Exhilarate. This is what I was born for.
Literally? Perfect.
Let me see. I think well, okay. First, I respond over comms to that comment. Uh, uh, we claim nothing. There is only duty. This is not personal. And with that, I catch your wrist and draw in my hand, or mechanized hand, and draw you close to me. Do you let your sword drop, or do you shove me away and fight on?
Well, like literally, it's impossible for me to drop my sword. I mean, I guess I could like press like some release that would just drop the arm off of my mech, but no, I definitely push you away and fight on. You pull me close at this, and I push you back. And as I do, where is it? I launch into sustained attack with my weight behind it. So you pull me close, and I've got my chainsaw arm swords, and I immediately push you back and then start just pressing an attack as I push forward towards you. Do you give ground readily or grudgingly?
I think it is grudgingly. There's these electrifying last minute parries, and even though they're in mechs, so the scale is much larger. Each inch is hard fought.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I don't like that one. You know what? I think that right, in the middle of or as that sustained attack is extended, I take the just as I'm. It looks like I'm going to give one more step back. I duck under your guard because I think your mech is sort of an older model that's like been repurposed from agriculture, right?
Totally, yeah.
Okay.
And there's like in addition to my chain swords, there's like a machine gun mounted over my shoulder, but we haven't actually seen me use it yet.
Okay.
It may or may not be functional.
Yeah. So I think the Whisper Strike is a bit smaller than your mech, but it's like right off the assembly line. I mean, it's not glossy because the whole thing is painted in dull colors, but it's it hasn't been scratched ever, except maybe now. So slipping within your guard, I launch a sustained attack back, and again with my slightly less weight behind it, but deadly. Do you give ground or readily or grudgingly?
I actually give ground readily. As you push into me, it's surprising how nimble this bulking tree cutter is as it steps back with its very long legs. And as I do, as I like retreat, I touch you. Wait, no, cutting you along the arm. Do you withdraw and run, or do you redraw the fight? Do you rejoin the fight? So you push me back, and I go back easily. But as I do, I get in one good swipe with my chainsaw arm.
Let me see. I think that
now your paint has been scratched.
yeah. I think that there's a quick shot of Viridian in the cockpit, just kind of going as he redoubles. And again uses that contact as an opportunity to again get within your guard. And I can do a closing question, right? We've done 3.
You're able to, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
You have the power.
Okay, so I slip in and get that beam saber right up under your chin, or in this case, right right in front of the cockpit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you submit or flee?
I flee.
Okay.
You get right up in there, and then all of a sudden, you didn't know this mech could do this, but it like launches straight up and backwards and gets quite a distance away, and then turns and then just runs on its chicken legs faster than you can follow, and she's gone.
Okay. And Viridian makes no attempt to follow as well.
I turn into a cat.
Yes. Very sneaky. Nobody expected that.
Nobody.
What a twist.
Cool. That was great. I love that fight. Thank you.
Yeah.
The mecha opens and just a cat jumps out.
Yeah, I didn't know this was Beast Wars.
No, secretly the mech is a cat because this is Tenchi Muyo.
Nice.
Yeah, sorry, that was my turn, so somebody else can initiate a scene here.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a solitaire.
Okay.
Aramis. I think we get a scene with Aramis in a very clean looking, very clean chamber. It's him. There's a small table in the middle, and on the other side is the revolutionary that's submitted, who's surrendered, whose name escapes me at the moment.
I definitely gave her a name.
Yeah, but I'm drawing a blank. M something.
Maybe.
Let's call her maybe.
How about Mabel?
Mabel
Sure.
is good. Yeah.
It's Mabel now.
It's Mabel.
Yep.
We're all Mabel now. So yeah, I think I have a chat with Mabel about the future of the revolution and how things are going to go from here. And I think we agree that that if we fight together rather than fighting each other, we can do better for Bantral. So I'm going to be seeking support from the revolutionaries, and they agree eagerly to fight for me in terms for arms and supplies. So there's now I think you probably hear this like as you get back from the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Balsama, that there's like a group, a faction of the revolution that's split off. Like probably like it's not the entire revolution. there's like a good shot.
It never is.
Yeah.
It turns out this revolution is very scattered and not very well organized.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works.
Yeah, funny. Yeah, so a bunch of people just left and then are fighting for Hasdale Nard with the aims to create Bentral for the people under our guidance.
Sounds good.
So yeah, that's me.
Yeah, and I think that Viridian is very much unaware of this alliance, as he attempts to replicate the dining experience when they were first landed on the planet, inviting Aramis and Balsama to try and negotiate a peace, or at least some sort of solution that is now perhaps undermined and destabilized, but we'll see where it goes. So I think that the actual dinner is set in like an automated landing bunker that has been deployed for landowner purposes. So it has this very stark and military look, but again, everything is like pristine and antiseptic. And when you arrive, assuming you both deign to show, there's
yeah, I think I would be there too.
Okay. There's what is obviously food that has been squeezed out of a tube on actually fairly fine plates. And it has been, and you can tell that the food has been spiced with some of the local spices. Who knows whether it was, whether that job was done completely ineptly or not. So
yeah, Aramis will definitely be there. I think since we're meeting on like landowner property, he's also bringing a small contingent of armed guards, including Mabel and Bertrand. I think for some reason he trusts Bertrand with a gun. I know I don't, but he does.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's the three of them and a few other faceless personnel for now.
Okay.
And of course, Balsama is alone.
Okay. Yeah.
She doesn't have anyone to bring.
And the Viridian 6 through 10, I think are don't come into the bunker itself, but they are milling around in other copies of the Whisper Strike just outside. And I'm thinking maybe Balsama should go first. I don't know if you agree with the designation of lowest social standing, but you're the only one who doesn't have backup. So
yeah, I think that probably makes sense. It's either Balsama or Viridian.
That's actually kind of tough to to pin down. I think it's actually probably Balsama, because Verdian would normally not have any kind of social standing, but just due to these particular circumstances, he does.
Yeah.
And I'm just a chef. So let's see. So yeah, I think she turns to Aramis because Viridian is terrible at like social dinner protocol and has sat Balsama and Aramis next to each other. And I hope that you do not bring up flinging me off a cliff those months ago. Do you?
I think maybe in our first scene, he's very much in the middle of telling the story.
Of course he is.
Yeah, and you can tell that he's added a lot of details over the past few months.
Now, is it obvious that the story is about me, or do you just gloss over that part?
I think I give meaningful winks in your direction, but I don't name any names.
Okay.
Say that it's an agent of this so-called revolution that had a bit of a spat with, since we don't have war here in Bantral.
Of course.
Police action, at most.
Yeah. Yeah. Some very rough interrogation techniques. So yeah, I don't name and shame you, but the story is definitely there.
Cool.
Yeah. I think we get that same awkward laughter from Bertrand. Yeah. So let's see. Do you want to go next, Viridian?
Sure. So even though the food itself is kind of odd and not quite appropriate, Viridian does bring out a local wine purchased at great price that's been fortified. Very tasty, but stronger than you might expect. He's hoping to keep you occupied while creating a more convivial atmosphere. You go for it. And I think that's to both of you.
I think so. I think at least Balsama is distracted. I think she's also a little bit overwhelmed just in general being invited here. She's the only one besides I already forgot what we named her. Jeez. Mabel. The only one like besides Mabel who is not like either a noble or a clone of Viridian. And so she's a little overwhelmed. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think Aramis has had this particular wine before, and he's convinced that he can handle it, his drink. So yeah, he accepts it.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad this little dinner party is going so well. Does anybody have a question?
Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I think I want to do something. Yeah, let's see. I think this is pointed toward Viridian. And I think Aramis is trying to put on a good show for now. Like, he knows the relations are a bit strained. And yeah, he is actively working against Volanders, but he doesn't particularly dislike Viridian. Like, Viridian's just doing his job. So I think I hope to convince you that maybe you could just work for us instead. Like I think you can see that maybe your owners don't have Ventral's best in mind, and maybe you could help us out a bit, or maybe not advance their progress too much. And I think that takes the form of like him talking about like centuries of Ventress rule over Ventral, how it's been a very stable planet, and we know how to run this land. And with collaboration going forward, we can make this work well for everyone involved. No need to bring in external rulership who don't know the first thing about life on this planet.
And yes, of course, we are looking forward to working with you. Obviously, betraying our topside makers is out of the question. But we again don't require fealty as such, only resources. So I think there is room for common ground.
I just want to make sure that the agreement, when it's settled, that it works out in everyone's favor. It's something that we can all appreciate and maintain going forward.
Well, I had thought and at the very least hope that might be the case, and just as we were starting to make such an agreement, this violence broke out between land-based factions, correct?
There's been a few isolated spats, but there's no.
Yes, of course. It's not.
Nothing.
None of us are at war, of course.
Nothing we can't handle.
Yes. Oh, yes. So, since we, I understand, Balsama, that you feel intruded upon, but I think there is, I think there is room for us to come to an understanding. We don't wish to take over your land, and perhaps we can help be a moderating influence in the disagreements that seem to have come up between your people and the band Tresh. I'm hoping to find some common ground here. Is there any?
I don't think you really understand what you've been doing. To come and tread upon our lands and then ask for us to give you a hand when the Bentresh do the same to you? I think you may be missing the point here.
I think you may be correct. In that we are not asking for assistance. We're merely hoping to build bridges to find
Perhaps
the
if you
common.
hadn't burned the ones that already existed, it would be a little easier. Ever since you have arrived here, you've done nothing but hurt the common people. You say it's in the name of progress, but the entire solar consortium is a tyrant, and you are but its weapon. Do you even have a motivation of your own? Or is everything you do designed to further the ends of your creators? I hope to convince you that you are a human being and you can act like one instead of a machine. Can I?
Yes. Yes, but I think that you don't have the full picture of my position. Yes, I am here to conduct. My mission is to conduct diplomatic relations. However, were I to, and yes, I am a weapon. Were I to merely, were I to merely follow protocol exactly, that that diplomacy would be of the form that you would call gunboat. We have shown, and this was my call, we have shown restraint. We wish to continue to do so.
Yeah, she nods.
Wow, this goop is just disgusting.
That was a pass, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The spices are good. Jeez.
I'm sorry. I didn't wish to exclude you, Aramis. Perhaps before we conclude, we can form a working agreement that before resorting to further unfortunate incidents, we can agree to a temporary resolution of uh, a small transfer of uh, what's it called?
Ventrophil?
Ventrophil, yes. Unobtainium. Uh, uh, while the we landowners uh, do not exert further pressure and stay only within this designated area, and that in return, uh, uh, your sides will cease hostilities both with us and with each other as well. Uh, can I get you to commit to that?
Well, that's going to take a fair bit of sacrifices from your side as well. You cannot simply be asked to cave before the off-worlders simply because they have some sort of data slate that tells them that tries to tell us that they own our planet. No matter what your creators and their ancestors have done in the past, this is our planet, and we're not going to give it up so easily. But I don't think a temporary resolution, as you put it, is impossible. So it's definitely still on the table.
On the on the table is somewhat disappointing, given that we
Much like
decided
many other things on the
to
table.
lead with our best offer. I'm sorry. That's a pass.
Okay. Balsama, do you have anything?
No, I think I think she looks between the two of you and that disappointed conversation, pushes her chair back and just walks out. Which everybody left in the conversation has just passed.
Yeah.
I think. So cool.
Cool. See some tension.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's see.
Failed diplomacy. Time for the last argument of kings.
Okay, so I think we're back around to Balsama already.
Yeah, I think so. I've been trying to figure out what I wanted to do here. Okay. I think this would be interesting. What if Balsama is stealing time together with Viridian? You how have we come to be stealing this time together? Like after that last dinner party, the kind of sides have been very definitively drawn, but the two of us are having a private conversation that need not be interrupted and is maybe slightly it doesn't necessarily need to fall into the romantic flirtatious nature, which this has a lot of options for, but there are also very very other ways to take this. So where are we? How did we come to be stealing this time together to have a private conversation?
I think that even though the like the meeting went sort of poorly, um, Viridian has kept comms open. Uh, so if you suggest a private meeting, um, he agrees and arrives promptly. And if it just if like the initial meeting doesn't have like this like a charged militant feel, um, they they immediately seem a little bit disarmed, uh, uh, like even like the slightest hint of a personal connection is uh, somewhat outside their experience, uh, and they're very very curious about it, and uh, open.
Okay. And so I think that you had gotten like a note or something that it was like not signed. It's just like meet
Okay.
here, place,
Meet.
time. And it's a picture. Okay, I think this is like one of those public private meetings where like in like a hotel lobby or something where there's like
Okay.
a cocktail bar. So we're like surrounded by people, but we have anonymity in our just being there. Like we don't really stand out. So we wind up like in a booth of this hotel bar, or maybe like on a couch, maybe like in a dark corner. And she stands up as you arrive and says, "I've been thinking about what you said at the dinner party, and surrounded by all those people." And she means, of course, the Bantresh and that contingent. I couldn't come out and say anything of note. You have to understand that.
I'm not certain that I do, but I'm I would like to. Uh,
And so she takes a seat on the couch and like gestures for him to join her on the couch.
and he does.
Yeah. I feel you want to help, you really do, but you just don't know how.
I Well, it is. I suppose it is more than just a matter of duty. Um, when you uh, asked me if I was more than just weapon, I I wasn't sure how to respond. I I don't know what I would be if I were to do something unthinkable, like betray my masters. But there's so much I've seen planetside that I would like to learn more, and perhaps uh, perhaps when there's neither the situation of weapons being involved or a third party that has traditions and honor to uphold, uh, we can come to an understanding that we might not otherwise. Am I making any sense?
I touch your hands. May
Uh, like I jump at the contact, uh, but I don't withdraw. So yes.
Yeah, she like takes your hands and says, "See this ability to think beyond what you were meant, what you were created for, what makes you human. This is what we need to strive for. We, me, the people of Bantral, we are not machines either. We are not here to be a cog in the great galactic machine. We are not here to simply crap out Bantrafil and send it into space. We're here to live our own lives. And we need everyone's help, your help. And she's like holding his hands, like squeezing them just slightly to be able to accomplish that. Can't do it alone.
And I think with my other hand, I uh, touch your wrist uh, right where the contact is best for feeling the pulse.
Mm,
Uh,
mm.
may I?
You may.
Well, that is in some ways that is the difficulty. If I am honest, I know that in a very real sense, we all are machines, and yet not. I you are you are asking for my help, uh, and I'm inclined to give it, but uh, I can't say that I know exactly what that means. You uh, in what sense?
It could be as simple as you looking the other way. You need to take no action against your masters. Just taking no action can help us immensely. You and the rest of your troops are an obstacle here. And we can take what is ours, what we deserve. And all you need to do is stand aside.
Let's see. So Verdian looks around the room for a moment, and then focuses again, and says, "There is a certain anonymity afforded by these surroundings, I think, but I cannot be absolutely certain that we are unobserved. So let me just say that officially I cannot commit to any shirking of duties, but I think that a period of observation is warranted.
Yeah, she begins to smile, and she says she lets go of your hands, and reaches up to touch your face, to caress your cheek. May I?
Sure.
And she says, "Thank you. I knew that you could see reason."
And Verdian's eyes widen at the touch. And his cheeks redden. Thank you for that. I think that I have a lot to contemplate. But thank you.
And I think that she stands and walks away, business concluded.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
So,
Yeah, feels like we're building up to something. And I'm wondering if we do that. We're building up to it. Either a big fight or a big talk. Or both.
Well, it's your move next. Which would you like to see?
yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. I think. Let's see. I think I'm gonna let the coin decide here. Let's see how this war ends. Or the non-war. So a 1 here is going to be an animated disagreement. A 2 is going to be a free-for-all. So let's see how the fates settle. It's going to be a 1.
Let's talk.
All right.
We're gonna have a talk.
Who is talking?
See, it's Aramis, And let's see. Maybe it's Viridian. I think it's Viridian.
Okay.
I think we need to have a talk about some. I think that there are some things we disagree about.
What is the topic of your disagreement?
I think it's going to be the degree of executive power that the landowners are going to have on Bantrol going forward.
Okay.
Aramis basically wants the Bantrash to be in charge, and he's willing to work with you, but you're not going to be running things.
And where are you holding this discussion, and who else is present?
I think this is like a public thing. I think we might be in like a town square of some kind.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a very public thing.
Well, as the audience, I get to lead this.
And I guess we should state our positions, or what was that you stating your position?
Yeah, I think that was my position. So
okay.
So
Viridian's position is that there isn't necessarily a conflict here, but there during these negotiations there has been a delay in the actual shipping of materials, and that is beginning to become a problem. So our response is that yes, you can run things, but we want a tripling this month, and then we'll slowly maybe move the target back down. But the amount that's being asked for is somewhat unexpectedly unreasonable.
Okay.
Brilliant. Okay, so now I get to present challenges. So I would like to have you please explain how your position is the most urgent and expedient. Golly, you can start.
Okay.
Sure.
Sorry.
Let's
see. Urgent and expedient. Yeah, I think Aramis sort of steps forward. I think he has that same armed contingent is not too far away. This has been going on for too long. These off-worlders have come to our shores, to our ports, to our mines, to our farms, and they want this Banterfill. They want the lifeblood of our planet for themselves. They keep making these outrageous demands. We can't let this stand. We must get them off our planet, post haste, and we'll be making the rules from here on out.
All right. What does Viridian have to say about that?
This assertion of things that are patently untrue is troubling. We have been most generous in our offers, considering the actual ownership of this land. We have offered to allow you to continue to be stewards, yet you put everything in jeopardy, not just for yourself, but for everyone upon the planet, by allowing yourself to fall behind. It is only because of this blatant disregard that we are forced to ask for more in compensation. I am sorry that you have brought things to this point. And if you act quickly, you can still avoid disaster. But you must hurry.
Interesting. Oof. That's a tough one. I'm gonna give it to Viridian here.
Okay.
Please, make a personal attack on your counterpart, because that one is fun.
This off-worlder scum thinks he can come here and assert some sort of truth written on some sort of ancient decree written by people who have who had no interest in our planet. They gambled away their so-called rights to be here. This man is but an instrument of the will of long dead corporates. He is nothing.
That is true. I am nothing but an instrument of a will more powerful than you seem to be able to conceive of. You are, in your outdated notions of honor and privilege, you have selfishly brought your entire world to the brink of apocalypse. I am amazed that the people seeing your folly have not turned against you more directly already. I hope that you will realize the ignorance involved in your error and seek to correct it immediately.
That didn't feel like a personal attack.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying. So I'm gonna give the coin to Kala.
Okay.
Because yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's the one that is, of course, the most important. Please explain how your position is the best for the most people.
Shall I
You want
go
to
ahead or
go ahead.
Okay. Well, we seek to avoid the bloodshed that Aramis seems so intent upon. We seek a peaceful resolution when every overture has been thrown back into our face. Yet in the interest of peace, we have persevered. In the interest of sparing all of you the suffering that that Aramis seems to think is his right to subject you to, merely to preserve his own interests. I am sorry that his arrogance has brought such danger. We still hope to create a situation that will benefit you all. But the greed of the Bantreshi nobles threatens that directly.
Counterpoint?
You come to our planet and speak of bringing your own peace, of condemning our greed, when it's your corporate overlords who will drain this planet dry of this newfound wealth that is rightly ours. Is our people that have cultivated this plant and made the growth of these crystals possible in the very beginning, and you seek to take take this treasure away from those who own it and siphon it off to 3 or 4 men in suits in some distant boardroom. No, my friend. The Bantrafil belongs to the people of Bantral. And the people of Bantral will manage it.
I don't feel like either one of you made a very good point for how this position is best for the most people.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I do still have to assign a coin one way or the other.
You just flip it if you want.
I think overall, that Viridian's answer was better. It still was very much avoiding the topic, but I think it was closer. I think I feel like Aramis's was more of a personal attack with like a and also will be good for you stamped in on the end. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say that today Viridian has swayed the people.
Nice.
All right.
Okay, so I think Viridian is up next.
Yeah. So I think that and definitely correct me if I'm off here, that right after that, to consolidate power, there's a pretty good chance that Armis would use the alliance he's forged with starts with an M. Mabel. To consolidate his position, like forcefully.
I mean, he's gonna do something.
Yeah. And I think that maybe just uh, maybe just like the brinksmanship of that would just kind of break down into a fight. Uh, so with like warning shots fired at Balsama's camp, uh, and Viridian being and his force being on the scene as neutral observers for now. Uh, but
Huh.
So
but
what are you doing?
I'm thinking free for all.
Yeah, all right. Let's
Sure.
do this. Where do I want the free for all to take place? Definitely away from the city. We're like out. There's some hills and sparse trees, but not really like woods per se, mostly. Cool. Go around the table. Each of you gets 2 turns. Brad, you go first since it was your turn that initiated this.
Okay. Oh, and the part about what do you notice about each other? What have you heard? I think that as the clash begins, Armis, you notice that 5 of the 6 landowner mechs seem to be in very much a neutral position, just uh, not yet committing to either side. But one of them that has a gash on it seems to be watching you specifically rather than the battle as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, and I think what you've heard about Aramis, so what's come out, is that there's been some very strict measures taken in Hasleonard. It appears that the people don't know their own best anymore. So, yeah, we're basically going to take control of this revolution. It's the plan.
Boy.
Yeah.
All right.
Swoop up the people for our own good, put Mabel in charge, kill anyone that dissents, and then hopefully take the fight to the landowners afterward.
All right. So I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I think the only thing that you've heard, maybe, about maybe not Balsama in particular, but like her cell, is that they have renewed confidence. It seems like they are they seem to be very sure of themselves at this point.
Nice.
So
nice.
Brad, offer the first challenge.
Okay. So as the units begin to engage, I go to cover circling with tactical precision. Sorry, being in that very dark and rather in somewhat small mech, nearly impossible to spot. Aramis, do you see me coming? Ow.
See, I don't think he sees you coming, but I think he spots the other ones and notices that one is missing. Because like we get that huh moment, and then see you attacking from from a hidden space, or maybe you're keeping cover now. But I think he notices your absence, but he doesn't see you.
Cool.
Okay, so I think what we see is just Aramis is just shrugging it off. Like, oh, I'm sure he's up to something. Little corporate lapdog. So I think he's just going to lead the charge on the resistance cell. It's him in the Chrome Apocalypse with the. I think he's doing this on his own. Like I think that's the kind of the thing. Like because the free for all is just us. I think this is the look at the pretense of it.
I think technically yes, but I kind of like the idea of maybe like the rest of our factions are fighting in the background, and whatever we succeed or fail at here will be the determination for the rest of the fight.
Totally.
We will solely interact with each other.
Yeah.
But the rest of the fight is just happening around us.
Yeah. So we see Mabel and a bunch of other Husqvarna people swell up behind him and like join the fight. But he's going to open fire on you, Belsama, pounding you with everything he's got. Can your frame take it?
Yes. No. So as you pound into her frame with everything you got, it's heavy and industrial, and like you can see the paint chipping, but the metal beneath is of I don't want to say a higher quality, but of it's
very durable.
It's much more durable than you might have expected. You know, like your frame could not have taken this much of a pounding.
Yeah.
And I rush you, and I'm much faster than you'd believe. Can you react in time and get away? How?
Let's see.
Like, I picture you just like opening fire, and then this chicken leg mech with its chainsaw arms just comes barreling at you, just dodging left and right and soaking bullets.
Yeah. I don't think the Chrome Apocalypse was designed for like fighting other mobile frames. This is the thing that kills people. There's like lots of like automatic fire, very like small bullets. The sort of thing that would like tear people apart, but not so much metal.
Totally.
Yeah. So let's see. I think it I can't react in time, but it's not by getting away per se. It's by grabbing one of the other frames like on my side and just tossing it at you.
Oh dang!
Yeah, and like rocket jumping away almost.
Yeah. And like I have to stop my charge. I have to zag around it, and then you get out of the way. Cool.
Yeah.
And I think, given that the nature of that exchange, like Meridian was like on the edge of like just charging in against orders and trying to make a difference, but instead he holds back, lighting Aramis's neck up with sensors and comms, zeroing him in for Balsama. Are you able to evade? Ow.
Let's see. Lighting up sensors and comms. So. No, don't think so. I think Aramis looks around and sees the fight is not going his way. And I think what he sees like specifically is that Mabel and her people have defected. and things are not going well. So he just looks around, notices that he's got enemies all around him.
All right, so far across the landscape, I had to duck one way as you ran the other before a Viridian lit you up with sensors and comms. You see the gun that's been on the back of this mech this entire time click up and like telescope out, and it's actually like a rifle. And I can put a shot right in your reactor core. Do you avoid my shot? How?
I don't think so. I don't think he does. Like he's just shocked. That like he couldn't, like in his last moments, Aramis can't believe that he was so wrong about all these people. And
beautiful.
A shocking reversal.
Yeah. And let's see. I do technically have one more challenge.
You do.
But don't know what to do. We see his reactor core is like burst open. There's strangely colored fire coming out of things. This is some like liquids pouring out, and he is kind of falls. And yeah, I think that's it. I think it's just an unceremonious end.
Dang. All right, Brad, you get to declare our ending from these choices listed here.
Yeah, so I think that the fighting's intense, but soon I think that your faction dominates the field, and Viridian's like falls back, not having actually fired a shot, but but having interfered.
Definitely interfered, for sure. That's good. It's real good.
And everyone limps home for repairs and recovery.
Well, almost everyone.
Yes, with a notable exception.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have gotten out of there.
Yeah, he didn't.
But he didn't. That's completely fair. That's completely fair.
A noble always goes down with his mech. So should we go to what's it?
The end?
The end, yes.
Yeah, I feel like
don't think I have the hand up for some reason.
I don't think there is like an end. Like, there's the ending play.
Ending play. Go around the table. At the end, go around the table one last time. On your turn, bring up any unresolved questions you have about the character's fate. Say what you think the possible outcomes could be, and the other players contribute possible outcomes as well. Everyone votes to determine the possible outcomes and which one comes true. If you don't have a question, just pass your turn. So, I already asked my question, which was, does Aramis survive? And I think that we could have a final scene of him crawling out of the smoking wreckage of his mech, like one leg completely crushed and covered with third-degree burns. That's one way it could end.
Yeah, what I think let's do the other scene first. I have an end in mind for Aramis, but I want to see how the rest of the world plays out first.
Okay. Well, in that case, I mean, that's kind of the question that I had that I wanted to see. So if you want to see other people's questions and ends, go right ahead. Brad, did you have anything you wanted to see or know?
So I think that even though the interference was minimal, the landowners are not happy with Verdian's actions, and call for his whole team to withdraw so that they can send in a real diplomat at this point. The others go. Verdian shows up on at Balsama's camp, sort of hat in hand. Is he welcomed?
Yeah, I think he is. I think that his help made like a decisive difference in that battle, and I think that she will open her door to him. I think I would see it where she lets him inside, and I think it's like really there's like a subtle smile of like I know exactly what you did, and I appreciate it. Like it's very low key but poignant. Does anyone have an alternative they would like to propose?
No, I'm good with that. I'm good with seeing Viridian falling with the revolution, which does tie into to what I was wondering about. What happens with the fight going forward? But how do things play out between the revolution and the landowners?
So I think it comes. I think it probably. Oh man, God! There's a lot of different ways it could go. You sound like you had a thing you wanted to say, Brad?
Yeah. Well, I think that the landowners are react fairly negatively to this whole situation, but it somewhat depends on how the revolution plays it. Like if they offer like token tribute, then there'd be room for continued negotiations, or it could just go to but feeling that there'd be a number of small but escalating incidents as the landowners try to retrieve the Banterfell for themselves.
I think that I think what happens is that the revolutionaries were the ones that damaged the drop pod that Viridian came in through originally, not Balsama's cell, but others. And every time the landowners send down troops, they always mysteriously have malfunctions and crash, until it just becomes too expensive to continue to send to continue the same way. They're going to need to either withdraw or change tactics. Did you have a answer to your own question there? No, for Kala.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good with that.
So we get a vote?
Do we need
to
vote?
Or is that like both of those are true? because I don't think they're that mutually exclusive, actually.
Yeah, I agree. I think that both can certainly hold true. Like that makes sense.
Cool.
Like the landowners think that the bench fill is their due, but if the spreadsheets aren't looking good, they're gonna wait, reorganize, and and plan for a day in the future where they can maximize their profits.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right, now back to the fate of one Armis Landerod.
Yeah.
Please make fun of the way I say all of the names because I'm the best at it.
My pleasure.
I've already said what I think happens, what I think would be interesting to happen. So please, I heard you had something you wanted to happen. Put it out there, and I'll probably vote for it for you.
Yeah, so I think what we see happening in the aftermath of the battle, I think there was like an official funeral held for Aramis of Leonard. You see the Chrome Apocalypse is just shipped off after the fight. And there's a whole ceremony and everything. Bertrand is crying. Poor boy. But then maybe as things are fading to black, as the credits are playing, we're panning through the hallways of what we eventually realize is the Leonard complex. It's their colors all over it, the black and gold. And we come upon this very sparse and empty table. And there's people in long white coats with House Leonard sigils on them. And on this table is Aramis. He's very badly hurt. He's probably lost his. I think he's lost both his arms and a leg. The other one's probably severed at the knee.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very, very badly burned on his chest and on his face. And we see these people, they're just putting stuff into him. He's very, very clearly undergoing some sort of surgery right now. And maybe the last shot is a zoom in on his face. And we just see one eye open. And then cut to black.
Nice.
I'm good with that. Let's go with that one.
Yeah.
That's true now.
Hmm.
Perfect.
Cool.
So yeah. That's Firebrands.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
This was so much fun.
Yeah, it's a blast.
Even the parts where I turned into a cat.
Oh, those
especially those parts.
Yeah.
There's highlights of my evening.
Yeah, there's this part near the end where the cat was staring directly into the camera. It was just adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm a streamer.
Oh man. Yeah.
So, Kelsey, you mentioned that you have like a crazy busy streaming schedule.
Yes. This is my week of being crazy. I am in 7 role-playing games this week. 7 streamed role-playing games. This is number 3 out of 7. I'm almost halfway done. So far, so good. On Monday, I ran a game of Blades in the Dark over on Tuxedramus's channel. That's ongoing and a lot of fun. On Tuesday, yesterday, I was a guest on a local D&D group. They are actually like 3 miles from my house, and we actually met up in person and used real dice at an actual table. It was very, very surreal. But that was it's time to tabletop, and I got to kick ass as a dwarf paladin, using compel duel on a gargoyle so that it stopped flying around was really good. And it turns out that that shield mastery in 5e, where you can just as a bonus action do a shield bash to push someone with your shield, stupid good. So that was a lot of fun. That was my second time guesting there, and I will be back with them in May, where I am going to run a one shot of Blades in the Dark, because it turns out that I love Blades in the Dark. I want to share it with everybody. So
You don't say.
Go figure. Really?
It's weird. It's weird. We'll get back to that in a minute. Later tonight is the launch of a new show called Longfall. We're using Open Legend, and it's weird aether punk. I am a bird cat hybrid person. We also have a four-armed naga type person, a regular human, and a non-hybridized cat person. And we are all cops in a floating city above a maelstrom where there is no ground. It is gonna be fun. Looking forward to that. Tomorrow I'm over on Misclicks for Apocalypse World. That game has been so weird, and I love it.
Sure sounds like Apocalypse World.
Yeah.
It's just like Apocalypse World. It's so weird, and I love it every time. Then on Saturday is going to be my last two games. We have Blades in the Dark with Eric Vulgaris in the afternoon, and then the premiere of Winter's Edge 2 with AP Gaming Reel on in the evening. That's my 7 games this week. Most of them are ongoing, but it should be down to a more reasonable number of 5 games a week very soon.
Yeah, reasonable.
Yeah, reasonable. Perfect.
Very cool. I look forward to hearing your take on Open Legend. I got to try it out several months earlier, and I think
I've read through it. It seems fairly interesting, but I don't want to pass judgment on it until I've actually tried it at the table.
Yeah.
So, see how that goes.
Yeah, I love the openness and flexibility in terms of character building. Like there's all sorts of options you can do some very cool stuff with it. But I look forward to hearing your report. Kala, what have you been up to?
Yeah, what have I been up to? I've been up to school stuff mostly. So sadly, streaming has been put on hold for the moment while I wrap up a very important part of my life. So I don't have too much else, I'm afraid. It was just glad to be here and play with you wonderful people.
Well, it's been quite a pleasure. And, I don't understand why you might want to graduate rather than stream, but okay, to each their own.
I mean, I can do both, right? Right?
Yeah,
right?
Maybe.
Pretty much.
Yeah, cool. So let me see. I will probably be back on Friday for Infopocalypse. Definitely on Saturday around 4 p.m. Pacific to continue hacking the Eschaton, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse sci-fi I've been working on that has a bunch of post-singularity and transhumanist elements. And then on Sunday, we'll be playing something at 4 p.m. But right now it is a mystery. So tune in then and find out. If you like this, please follow, like, subscribe, what have you. I would very much appreciate it. Yes, with directions, because I always put that up on my YouTube. No, I don't.
There's buttons somewhere. They changed Twitch. They don't like it, but there's new buttons.
Yeah. Consult your
so many buttons.
Yes.
Please consult your user's manual.
Yes.
Turn to page 4 to 6 of the Twitch manual.
Thanks again, everybody. I'm going to look for somebody super cool to host.
Super cool.
Super cool.
Super cool.
Super cool.
For real.
Yeah. God.
Totally.
And
this cat.
Okay, so when I think super cool, two names come to mind. So I'm in a quandary because both Adam and Distracted Elf are casting right now.
Well, I think Adam is probably very deep into Persona 5 at the moment.
Yes.
That might not be the best stream to jump right into.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
sounds
I
like
guess
Distracted Elf is a winner.
Yeah. I have to go with the new hot stuff of Persona 5. So, thanks again, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.